I invite you to sit on your mat or on your block or on your cushion, cross your legs or tuck your feet under if that works for you. Welcome to our midday break, moving into the week as our most amazing selves. Close your eyes and rest your hands onto knees. Take a few conscious breaths through your nostrils, up and down. Imagine yourself breathing into the space between your eyebrows. Let that space expand. Sometimes I do this and I imagine that space lighting up. Breathing in and breathing out. We're breathing ourselves into the here and now, noticing and acknowledging any thoughts or any story that might still be there, and not resisting the story that just feeds it, but rather look and seek that which is spacious, that which sits behind and below and underneath the thoughts and our concepts and our ideas. Follow your breath through nostrils down into torso, into belly, into pelvis, down into hip joints. And give your body permission to breathe fully. Notice how your habitual breath feels in your body, and then notice how a deep conscious breath might feel different in your body. And simply become curious towards that. Become curious to, how do I do the things I do day in, day out? And how else might I be able to do so? Breath being a beautiful example. So many ways we can breathe. So many more ways we've never explored. Tapping into that, opening up to what's there, what's possible. And then shifting our breath into a sense of, into our breath of expansion and contraction. So imagine yourself breathing in through your pelvic floor or through your tailbone, and then breathing up through spine, all the way to the end of your inhalation, all the way into crown. Really, literally rising, lengthening through your spine. And then as you exhale, you soften through your periphery. Like a fountain flowing out of your head, and then water tingling, no, what's the word? Rolling down your periphery. So inhaling through your center and creating little gaps between all the vertebrae, really reaching tall, and then exhaling through your periphery, softening. Softening your shoulder blades down towards hips, giving your collarbones permission to lengthen and also soften. Maybe gently swaying elbows left and right and just releasing any sort of tension that might still be held in our arms. Softening the thighs and the knees and the hip joints. As we continue to grow tall in our posture, grow spacious in our awareness, grow expansive in our consciousness. Taking in sounds that surround us, taking in a scent, a sense, a taste, sensations on our skin, sensations in our bodies. Let your thoughts become like clouds, just sort of moving into awareness and moving out. Let them float. Like watching a movie which you're not really watching, it's just sort of going, and once in a while you might get caught in it, and then you pull your awareness away again. And simply sense what is alive in you this moment. Maybe place one hand onto your heart And by placing hand onto heart, we guide our attention to that point, to that space. Sense what it is you might need to bring into your yoga practice today to truly nourish and nurture yourself. And then release your hand back down onto knee. If your palms were turned up, turn them down, cup your knees and start flowing forwards and back on your sit bones, just gently hinging forwards and back. No forcing, just let the movement evolve, gently going deeper. Maybe you add a swaying, or you might start to circle, creating more and more movement into pelvis, into hip joints and spine as well. So you might end up rolling your head as your spine starts to move. And very organic, no wrong, no right. Let your body guide you. Feel your shoulder blades slide around on your back ribs. Move side to side, forwards, back. Play with the expansiveness of your inhalation and the softening of your exhalation. And then eventually rolling onto front sit bones, and we'll just gently fold forwards. Soften ourselves forward. Notice if you're holding tension, maybe inhale to come halfway up, and then exhale to go deeper into it, relaxing the knees down to earth. Soften. And then chin to chest, roll yourself back up. Roll your shoulders up to ears and back and away a couple of times. Lift your knees, swap your feet, drop your feet, lengthen tall. Sway and then find your way into another forward fold. Again on an inhalation, lift halfway up. And exhale to fold a little deeper. Chin to chest, roll yourself up to sit. Reach your arms out to the sides. Spread your fingers wide. Point your elbows down, gently turning palms up just a little. And soften the shoulder blades down. On our inhale, we reach our arms up. And on our exhale, we release down. Fingers touch the mat. At the end of your exhalation, inhale, arms up. And as you exhale, all you do is soften your shoulder blades down. Inhale, grow tall through your spine, and exhale your hands through the sides. Inhale, reaching arms up. Exhale, sliding shoulder blades down. Inhale, growing a little taller. Exhale, twisting left. Bring your hands down to knee and mat. Gently twist. Roll your shoulders up to ears, slide your shoulder blades down. Look over back shoulder, as far back behind as you can. And on your next inhalation, you reach back to center, coming up. Exhale, sliding shoulder blades down. Inhale, growing taller. Exhale, twisting other way. Releasing hands down. Open chest. Roll your shoulders back. Look over your shoulder. Lengthen out. And on your next inhalation, coming back to center. Dropping right arm down onto earth, sliding it out to the side. Keep your left sit bone grounded deeply. Right elbow might even bend. And then pull your left elbow to right knee. So round into spine. Lift your navel up and in. Round your lower back. Round the lower ribs. Really beautiful. Breathing into that. On your next inhalation, you open up. We open into chest and heart. And we breathe deeply into the side body. And we exhale again. Elbow to knee, round yourself up, make space. Breathe into those parts that are stiff and stuck. And inhale to open up. Stay here for a bit. Look at your top hand. Slide your shoulders down. Open heart. And coming to center. Rising right arm up. Exhale, shoulders down. Inhale, rising a little taller. Exhale, opposite hand down. Sliding over to the side, keep your right sit bone grounded, reaching over, reaching. Another inhale here, exhale, roll your right elbow to left knee. Lift your navel, lift your pelvic floor, round your spine. And then inhale to open up. Right hand up towards the ceiling. As much as we were rounding earlier, now we're opening the heart, reaching back. Inhale here and exhale. Rounding it out, elbow to knee. Breathe, lift through your center. And inhale to open up wide. We lift through our top hand to center. Reaching arms up high. Reach, reach, reach. Exhale, the shoulders down. Inhale, lift your crown a little taller. And then bring your hands forwards, bring your feet closer. If you can roll over your feet, do so. Otherwise, find your way onto hands and knees. Spreading fingers wide, gently draw some circles around your hands, around your wrists. Spread your fingers wide, ground them consciously. Spreading wide, spread your fingers. As you inhale, you lift your heart, you lift your sit bones, arch your back. Slide your shoulder blades down, hug your elbows into hips, lift your heart a little higher. On your next exhale, round it out, rounding through spine. Tailbone reaches down, chin to chest. Breathe into back ribs. Shift your hips left and right, shift your shoulders left and right. On your next inhale, arching again, lengthening out. And here again, also maybe shifting shoulders, shifting hips, finding space, lifting chin. Another inhale here for length. As you exhale, you round. As you inhale, you arch. As you exhale, you round. As we inhale, we arch. And then find our neutral spine. Neutral spine, long line from tailbone into neck. Keep your toes pointed as you gently lift your knees. Stretching our toes from big toes to pinky toes. Bringing knees back down. Shift your weight forward. Stretch your wrists a little deeper. And then tuck your toes under. Lift your knees. Hands reaching forward. Sit bones reaching back. Lift your hips up high. Soften your neck. And then walk on the spot. Lift one heel at a time. Rolling side to side. Lifting heels, soften shoulders, have a look forward. Point your elbows to the corners of your mat. Soften into hips, lengthen into spine. Grounding into left foot, rising right leg up. And your knees might still be bent, we're still warming up. If you can, stretch them out, straighten them out. Right leg lifts, left heel drops. Lifting a little higher, keeping pelvis and chest level. Lengthen your neck, open your heart. Right leg down. Grounding. Left leg reaches up high. Sensing if there's a difference. Let your body meld with the challenge. Right heel melds, left heel rises. Left foot comes down. We lift both heels. So we're stretching the toes. We bend our knees, rest our tummy onto thighs, and then look forwards. Press your hands forward. Lift your sit bones up. Long, long line through your spine. Reach your hips back. So all your weight is towards your hips, and then slowly unwind your legs. Drop your heels, unfold your legs. Keep looking forwards. Reach your hands forwards. All your weight in your heels, in your hips. Reaching. Breathing. Exploring. Bending knees, looking forward. Let's lift our left leg up high. Both knees bent, left leg lifts, looking forward. Find the space between your hands with your eyes, and then find it with your foot. If it needs a bit of help, totally welcome to help. Knee above heel, fingertips in line with heel. Checking here, find your stance. Can we maybe straighten our front leg for a moment? You're welcome to lift and lower your back heel. Bending front knee again. Straightening it again. Can you keep your chest on your thigh? Opening a little deeper. Continue to breathe yourself long through your pelvic floor into crown. Softening through periphery. Knee above heel. Right fingertips on the mat. Left arm rises up. If your right hand wants to be flat on mat, that's fine. Left knee above heel, open up wide. Inhale here. And exhale, left hand back onto mat. Back onto fingertips. Rising up into lunge warrior. Lengthen up. So lifting through the fingertips is really a lift through the hip bones. Imagine your hip bones and fingertips were connected. Turn your palms forward, spread your fingers wide. Inhale to expand and exhale to soften shoulders down. Maybe you can sit a little deeper into your lunge warrior. Keep pointing your tailbone down and forwards. Lift through your pelvic floor, lift through your navel, and just be here for a moment. Let the insides of your hands shine like there's lights in your palms. And be here for a moment. And reach a little deeper, settle a little deeper. Now keep your left leg and knee exactly as it is. Just roll your right heel down. Find warrior two. Left knee stays exactly as it is. Lifting through navel, pointing through tailbone. Press your hands into space. Wherever we go, always include the space into your practice. Shift forwards and back. Never getting stuck. Reaching back, right hand drops down, left arm, can we reach it up? Turning palm forward, spreading fingers wide. Always shoulders down and away from ears. Maybe we can settle a little deeper. Tailbone pointing down, navel lifting up and in center. Reaching forwards. Elbow to knee or arm to inner leg as our top arm reaches up. We roll our right chest upwards. We roll our right hip outwards. Grounding into right pinky toe side. Open your hips up. And coming to center. Now rolling back onto right toes as we sway our right hand past our hip. Roll your right hip forwards. Find your lunge warrior again. Fingers spreading wide. And now we exhale our hands through the sides. Just here, roll your shoulders back, open your chest, open your heart. Keep spreading fingers, hands slightly away from hips. Hinge forwards, find your left foot. This might be enough, or you stretch it out and you reach it out. And you lift your heart and you lift your navel. And you breathe into wherever you're at. Don't resist what is, but embrace it. Let it all be there. And step it back, rise it up. Beautiful. With a sense of curiosity, let's go there again. And notice how the mind wants to go like, okay, go there again, same thing. But can we be open to this moment and step into it as if we've never been here before? And expand and rise and feel. And step it back, rise it up. Inhale here, looking up, leaning back, soften shoulders back. And exhale, hands onto earth. Let them connect with earth before you continue to move. Ground the hands. And then push hands into earth. Let your left foot slide back into three-legged downward facing dog. Let's open the left hip and bend the left knee. Let your right heel drop to outer right hip. Circle the ankle. Keep your right kneecap pointing forwards. Keep your chest parallel. Keep lifting the knee. Beautiful. And bring your foot down, downward facing dog. Lengthening here. You can always stay here if you like, or maybe come into plank. Plank might be a full plank, or it might be with your knees supporting you. And we take a moment to really arrive. We take a moment to move past our habitual way of being in a plank, and maybe giving our body an opportunity to find its strongest, most aligned version. See what happens if you press your heels back and at the same time press the crown of your head forwards. Breathing into navel. Breathe your lower back wide. Reach into space between shoulder blades. Gently looking forwards. And then either moving into down dog, or you bring your knees down, or you move into chaturanga. Point your toes back. Melt your hips down to earth and lift your heart up high. Picture the length from tailbone into neck as one long line. So tailbone needs to extend down and forwards for us to open up wide. And from here, back onto hands and knees, finding our down dog, meeting here, softening out, right leg rises, lifting it up high, looking forwards. See the space between your hands.
Lengthen up. Let's bring our right foot down. I just need to realign. Lifting both heels forwards and up, bending knees. Become light here. Next space. And then we reach our right leg up again. We're on our left toes. Lots of space. See the space between hands. And then land your foot there. Find help if you need. Fingertips are light. Or maybe left hand flat on earth as you reach your right arm up. Lengthen up. Find space into hips. Maybe you can let your hips sink a bit. Open your chest. Slide your shoulder blades to hips. Contracting through your left thigh. And your hand comes back down onto mat. Fingertips light. Strongly finding your feet and rising up into lunge. Spread your fingers. Slide your shoulder blades down. If you want to link that with the breath, inhale up and exhale. Soften down. Align your hips with the front of your mat. Sink deeper into front knee. Welcome to lift and lower your back heel. Keep your hips parallel. Sink a little deeper. Lift through navel. Tuck through tailbone. Soften deeper. Reaching deeper. Beautiful. Now keeping this, keep your right knee above the heel. Have a look forwards. Keep it as it is. If you want, you bring your right hand here to make sure it stays. And all you do is roll your left heel down. Open left hip. Open left arm. And then reach right arm forwards again. Opening wide. Now see your arms parallel to the mat. Feel your left hip rolling back, your right knee forwards. Expansive in it. Notice how it feels to be in such a fierce and powerful pose. Notice if it comes naturally to you or if it's unfamiliar. Notice these subtle layers. Fill it with breath. Observe with curiosity. Reaching back, hand comes down, front hand rises. Soften shoulders. Keep your front knee above heel. Open a little further. Point your tailbone down a little deeper. Lift your neck a little higher. Coming through center. Reaching forwards. Maybe the elbow needs to rest and support on the thigh, or the arm is extended as your left arm comes up and over. Rolling left hip back. Rolling left shoulder back. Check where the weight is in your feet. Open hips wide. Strong through your center so that you can soften through your periphery. And lengthen yourself back up into warrior. Left hand sways past the left hip. We roll back onto left toes. Rising up, palms forward. Reaching here. And then the hands come through the sides. In line with hips. Hinging forward. Find your stance. Open heart, strong center. Hinging. Maybe stepping onto right foot. Maybe expanding the left leg back. Opening wide, stepping it back. Celebrate these awesome things your body is able to do. And come forwards, hands come back, fingers spread, shoulders slide down, coming forward, reaching and expanding, reaching and expanding. Stepping it back, rising it up, celebrate. And exhale, your hands come down onto earth. Your right foot reaches back into three-legged downward facing dog. And then open the knee. Open it up. Circle your ankle. Make sure your left kneecap is still pointing forwards. Maybe looking forwards. Level out your shoulders. Go a little deeper. Let your left hip drop. Let your right knee rise. And right foot comes down. Maybe you stay in down dog, maybe you come into plank. We'll pause here. Find our plank, slide shoulder blades down, lift through navel. Open your heart. Be strong and confident here. Either moving into your chaturanga or gently bringing knees down, the toes point back and then the hips release down and the chest lifts up high. But it's a strong pose, strong glutes, strong center, deep lift into heart, onto hands and knees, tuck your toes, and reach it back into down dog. From our down dog, let's take a pause in child's pose. Knees might be narrow or wide. See what works for you. If your knees are narrow, bring your hands back. Let your back body expand, open up. We'll roll ourselves up onto heels. Find yourself on heels, bring your knees together. And we'll all fold over our closed legs, even if you did so already. Forehead onto mat, long neck, hands interlock behind. Just feel them, bring them together, really feel your hands connect. If you can bring your palms together, do so. Maybe they need to stay apart. And then reach your arms up and over. Then roll from forehead into crown and reach your arms up and over. Lift your navel, hollow your belly, ground into the crown of your head. Beautiful. Let your arms soften. Soften down to earth. Stay here for a moment and just notice how the pose evolves and changes. Feel the weight in your head. And then bring your sit bones back to heels. Release your hands down. Palms facing up, just rest your hands onto mat. Sense what you feel. Curious to the tingling in your fingertips. And we'll lift our hands again, interlock them the unfamiliar way. So simply swapping fingers, coming up onto the crown, reaching arms up and over. Same thing, just hands different. Notice what difference that makes. Without your shoulders collapsing to ears, let your arms soften. Opening your shoulders. If you feel like moving the shoulders left, right, welcome to do so. And then coming back down onto heels. Hands release and rest alongside the feet. Pause for a moment, feel and sense. And then we'll roll ourselves up to sit on heels. Hands onto thighs. Take a moment, let your body adjust. Find your center before you tuck your toes under and sit onto heels. Align your heels with your sit bones. Stretch out toes, all of them. Pinky toes, big toes. Balance the weight out in your feet. Rise your arms up tall. Inhale here to lift high. Exhale to soften the shoulders down. Make sure you're being long in your spine, not collapsing in lower back, pointing tailbone down, strong through your navel. Right hand comes onto spine. The left hand sways around, and it might also just land on spine, or the fingertips might meet. Just see what works for you. If you have a towel close, you can grab that. And then as we press our hands into back body, we open our chest and we open our heart. Every inhale you grow tall. With every exhale you soften your lower ribs downwards, downwards. Broaden your breath into the back body where your hands are resting. Broaden your lower rib cage. Let's unfold this. By now maybe your feet are shouting at you. See if you can just be with it. Inhale here, lifting shoulders up. Exhale, sliding them down. Now left hand comes onto space, onto spine, between shoulder blades. Right hand comes around. Maybe just rests on spine, or the fingertips might touch. And then open elbows backwards. Lift your heart. Soften your lower ribs and point your tailbone down. Lift your navel. Breathe into lower back ribs, into the center of your spine. Open there, open your arms. Really conscious. Notice what's happening in your feet. Are you compensating? Can you just stay with the sensations? Let's undo this. Rise up and then coming forwards. Hands shoulder wide. Spread your fingers wide. Point your toes back. Point and flex them a few times. Feel the sensations in your feet. Take your gaze forward. Open your heart. Tuck your toes, lift your knees, slide yourself back into down dog. Feel how Something might have shifted and changed in your shoulders. Walking the down dog if that feels true and good for you. And then we look forward, see the space between our hands, and in our own perfect way, find our feet there. Bring our hands onto shins, onto knees, lift our heart, lift our sit bones, lift our chest, and exhale, folding it forwards, letting ourselves hang. Shake your head no and nod your head yes. Wiggle your toes, maybe bend one knee at a time, or straighten one leg at a time. Sliding hands up onto knees again, arch your back, open chest. And exhale, folding from the hip joints, go a little deeper. Hook your big toes if you like, or have your hands on your elbows to sway. Maybe sliding hands under feet if that works for you. See where you're at and then take it a little bit deeper. Lift your kneecaps, lift through the sit bones. And let go, bend your knees, make yourself round and roll yourself up to stand. Rolling up, roll your shoulders back and away. Soften shoulders back. Keep your right foot where it is. We're at the front of our mat. And step your left foot back. About, let's say about 1 meter between your heels. And your left toes are pointing to the front corner of your mat. Feet hip wide, hands onto hips. Align your hips with the front of your mat. You can keep your hands here. If you want to take it a little further, bring your hands into prayer, fingers pointing down, and then turning them around, so pressing pinky fingers onto spine between shoulder blades. So here, see if that works for you. Otherwise, hands onto hips or hands onto elbows. Great alternatives. And then from here, we inhale to lengthen ourselves a little bit taller. If you have your hands in prayer, really open chest. Press your hands into one another. Open chest wide, and then we all exhale to fold forwards. Soften forwards. Keep your chest and your heart wide open. Trust your feet. Allow your neck to soften. Allow your toes to relax. Level out your hips. And use your breath to continuously find more space. If you feel like it, inhale halfway up. Exhale, going a little deeper. And let's release our hands, however we had them, wherever they were, and let them drop to mat. Now left hand comes onto right ankle. If that doesn't work for you, it can land on the mat anywhere around your right foot. If you can come onto ankle, rising your right arm up. Keep your legs grounded and open yourself up. Maybe you can look up at top hands, notice your ankle and your feet wobbling. And continue to rise even taller. And exhaling, hand down. Fingertips light. Turn onto left toes. And then shift your weight into right foot. See if you can lift your left leg up. And it might just be a tiny bit. It might be a tiny bit more. You go into your full standing split, then that's what you do. See where you're at. Challenge yourself, breathe. And then bending both knees, stepping left foot forwards. We inhale to rise halfway up through spine lengthen. We exhale to fold it forward. In my own practice, I quite like bringing my hands to the back of the calves or even fingertips under heels. And then wrap my elbows around and fold myself a little deeper. Having the intention of eventually dropping crown onto toes, and with curiosity exploring through your body and how I could possibly achieve that. Release your heels, round yourself, roll yourself up to stand. Unfold and unwind yourself as you come up. And left foot stays where it is. Right foot comes back. About 1 meter, toes pointing to corners of your mat, hands onto hips. Align your hips. You're not just aligning your pelvis with the mat. See if you can lift your pelvis up a bit. Make yourself tall, but ground evenly through your feet. Now hands here, or hands to elbows, or hands to prayer. Pinky fingers onto spine, open heart wide.
Another inhale to roll shoulders back, lift and lengthen. You can even go into a bit of a back bend. And then we fold forwards. Chest, hips parallel to earth, folding forwards, noticing the difference. I invite you to inhale, lift the heart forwards, find more length into front torso, and then exhale to fold deeper. Surrender into this forward fold. Keep your collarbones wide and your heart open. Explore and notice how the asana develops and changes and evolves. And then release your hands wherever you have them. Let them drop onto mat. Maybe making a little more space as you lift your chest forwards. Right hand onto left ankle or onto mat. And then slowly rising through the left arm. Roll your left chest back. Beautiful. Slide your shoulders down. Stack your shoulders. If you can look up at top hand, you're welcome to. Notice how your feet are wobbling. Spread your fingers. Spread your toes. Relax into it. Ground your back heel. And release your left hand down. Fingertips are on the mat. Shift your weight into left foot. Right leg rises. Relax your neck. Explore your range of movement. Explore and be playful with it. And then bending both knees, stepping right foot in. Round yourself up to stand. Oh, and arrive here. Rolling shoulders back a few times. Maybe soften through hips. You might want to shift your hips forwards and back. Release. Let your body guide you. Do whatever helps you make space and become spacious right now. And check your feet. Bring them a little wider than hip wide. We extend our arms out through the sides and up. Inhale to reach a little taller. And exhale, soften shoulders down. Get a really strong sense of center, a strong sense of connection between pelvis and ribs. And then exhale your hips back and away. Slide them back, reach them back. Folding forwards. Let your head drop, rise a little taller through your sit bones. And then bend your knees, ground your hands flat onto earth. Step it back into plank. Reaching into plank. So maybe your right knee onto mat to support you with your right toes pointing back. Or alternatively, simply roll onto the side feet. So stacking hips and stacking shoulders. Beautiful. Press into bottom arm. Maybe top arm can come up and over as you lift your hips a little higher. Little higher. Rolling right hip forwards, left hip back. One more breath. And hand down into plank. We all find our plank. We notice how the two sides of the body feel different. Either coming onto left knee to balance on that, right heel down, or simply rolling feet over one way. Lifting through right hip, right arm, right ribs, right arm up and over, reaching up. Right hip rolls back, left hip rolls forward, chest wide and open, explore with curiosity. Expand and unfold your inner potential. And right hand down. Inhale, plank. So either straight into down dog through your chaturanga if that's part of your practice, or knees down, toes back, hips drop, heart lifts. If you'd like to add on, the knees lift as you come into upward facing dog. And then shifting back into down dog. Roll it back, shift it back, reach it back. Roll your head, roll your neck. Finding space. Bend your knees, look forward. See the space between your hands and then find the space through your feet. Inhale to rise halfway. Exhale to fold deeply into forward fold. Stay here for a moment. Breathe, lengthen. And then bend your knees, point your tailbone, and round yourself up to stand. Beautiful. Coming up, reaching up wide, stepping our left foot back, or whichever foot really. Widen your legs. So we open, we have our toes point the same direction. And then let's see if we can widen our stance a bit. And maybe we can widen it a bit. And really swaying hips side to side. Make sure you're still comfortable. You don't want to break into pieces. Be comfortable. The outside edges of your feet are parallel. Arms out to the sides. Spread your fingers. Arms in line with shoulders. Now come back to that breath I mentioned earlier where we breathe through our center, tall and long, and we exhale, we soften through our periphery. Get that sense. So you inhale through your pelvic floor into crown. Notice how just that intention creates all this contraction here, and then you exhale to soften. And we hinge forward from the hip joints. Can we align our spine with earth? Can we lift our heart? Yes. Sarah, lift your heart a little more. Yes, awesome. Not the chin, the heart. Yes, perfect. Awesome. As if you were arching your lower back almost, really poking sit bones up. Let's take another inhale here and exhale forward. Soften. And how about we sway as we soften here? We bend one leg at a time. Straightening out the other, shifting from side to side, opening the hips wide, reaching wide, centering, inhale, lifting heart forwards and up, and exhale, simply folding deeper. So now if your crown lands on the mat, and this is part of your practice anyways, you're welcome to come up into headstand. If you want to just play towards headstand, you're welcome to just explore and see what it feels like to shift weight into head. And if you're happy simply being in your forward fold, then that's where you're at. That's perfect. Be here. Keep striving through hips, striving upwards. From your headstand, find your way back down. And then we all slowly lift our chest forwards. Have our right hand under forehead on the mat. So hand flat if that works for you, or on a block, or on the fingers. And then left arm reaches up. Open your chest, open your heart. Again, as if you were arching your spine. Lift your sit bones. Yes, awesome. And left hand comes down, replaces the right on the mat, and the right arm rises up. Roll your shoulders down, slide your shoulder blades down, arch your back, reach a little deeper, inhale, and exhale, hand down. Let's just heel toe our feet a little closer until we can come into a squat. So keep your feet rather wide in your squat if you can, and then sway side to side in your squat. Feel into the hip joints, maybe arch and round your spine. Just notice what it feels like to be here. Bring your hands onto mat in front of you, swaying, reaching. Maybe elbows into knees for a moment, hands together. How wide can we open our knees? Now, is the spine rounding forwards? Can you almost arch it? Can you poke your bum back slightly and lift your heart up? And then open the knees a little wider. Awesome. And we'll just lift our arms up. Can we stay here? And we bring our hands to the sides behind us to come to sit. We'll slide our feet out and away. Good. If your knees need to be bent, they can totally do that. Find your sit bones grounding into earth. Have your hands behind you if you need them behind you. Rolling shoulders back. Check your feet. They are pointing straight up to ceiling. And then if you can, bring your hands forward. But only if you can roll onto front sit bones. If you need support behind you, otherwise, that's great. And if you can, you're welcome to move further forwards. Whatever supports you in stretching into the thighs, the inner hips. So it's not so much a rounding in the spine,
It's more of a lengthening through the front torso and softening into the hips. Notice where you're holding on tight. So when I do this, I sometimes bring my hands to legs and just sort of remind them it's okay, it's okay, relax, soften, it's okay. Because you'll notice as soon as your mind contracts, your body will contract with. As soon as your mind sends a message of this is not safe, this is not good, the body will hold safe. So relax into it. As we fill the breath and moments with curiosity, that's what we do. Curiosity allows us to relax and soften and really move from within. And let's find our way back up. With lots of love and kindness, we grab behind the knees and just lift them up, reach them up, and then bring the feet together. Slide them away slightly, so not bringing them close, slide them away, open your knees, let them soften and relax. And now this time we allow to let our spine round. Give yourself permission to simply round forwards without striving or seeking, but breathe wide and spacious into the sacrum area, into your kidney area, into the lower ribs. Let your head hang. Let your shoulder blades slide apart and away from one another. Play around, see where you like your hands to be. Close your eyes, take your inner gaze up to third eye and soften there. Every inhale, you widen and expand. With every exhale, you soften. Slowly round yourself up to sit on heels, on sit bones again. Bring your feet width, bring them a little closer. And you can have your hands behind you or a wall behind you. If you like, bring your hands around your feet and we'll gently butterfly our knees up and down, releasing the inner thighs. Notice where your weight is in your sit bones. Stay really tall. And if you like, you come to stillness, just melting knees to mat and gently hinging forward from the hips, from the hip joints, through the heart, reaching forwards. Slowly finding our way up. Grab behind the knees. Lift them up, lift your feet up and just hug your knees into you. Hug your knees into you. Very good. Release your feet down onto mat. Make sure there's mat behind you to roll down onto, so turn yourself and we'll come to Shavasana. If you need something else on the way, welcome to go there. Otherwise, just rolling spine down, up and down a few times so that your back body can open up wide, grounding spine into mat. From here the head comes down and maybe use your hands to lift your head forwards and up and then back down into mat. The hands come down, the feet slide away. If that creates tension in your lower back, you can always keep your feet on the mat and your knees dropping inwards, or maybe a bolster or cushions under your knees. And you're welcome to move around and squeeze and shift and move. And then make the conscious choice to become still. And anchor that with a deep inhale through your nose. Fill yourself up fully with breath and exhale through your mouth and drop into relaxation. And again, inhale through your nose, deep and wide, expand, squeeze and contract maybe, and exhale to soften. And one more, through your nose, breathing deep, expanding, maybe contracting, reaching, and this last time we Exhale to stillness. Let your eyes be closed. Surrender into mat. Remain deeply connected to this moment. Deeply connected. Witness your breath breathing you. Witness this moment in its fullness. So witnessing breath and sensations, but also witnessing sounds and movement around you. Make no distinction between this inner world and the outer world. Let all phenomena come and go. Notice that your thoughts can be observed and witnessed, just like birds flying by, just like sounds that arise and disappear, like cars driving past. Connect with that layer that is way deeper than thought. That space within you, that essence, that space of being, this inner self, this knowing that simply being alive and being you without any ideas about you and how you are and who you are. Connect with that space that just knows, that is pure presence, here and now. That space within you that is worthy and that is enoughness and that is joy and light. That space from which we struggle to define ourselves. When all that comes up is just I am, with nothing following. And you will notice as you find this space and you rest in it, mind comes up and comes back to stories and thoughts. Notice what the thoughts are that grab your attention. See patterns in those. Find out what your triggers are so that you can be alert and not always go with it, but remember your true self, your essence. This inner beingness that is connected to the here and now, that is creative and spontaneous. And through its presence, it knows what to do and it knows where to go. It just knows. It doesn't need any stories or definitions. It simply is. Explore that space with curiosity. Notice what it feels like, or maybe tastes like, or smells like, or what it looks like, so that you can recognize, so that you know where to go when you lose yourself again in your day. Notice how there's a sense of lightness and light when we allow ourselves to simply be
and not be anything specific. Acknowledging and remembering that we are unique, regardless of our thoughts and concepts. And simply being, we are unique and authentic, show up as ourselves. Stay connected with this inner space as you invite breath to deepen. And as you slowly stretch and open back up into movement, stay connected with this inner spaciousness, this inner light, this inner knowing as you slowly find your way back up to seated, crossing legs, sitting tall, resting hands onto thighs, eyes still closed. Stay connected to that inner space wherever you feel it most. Remain curious. We'll bring our hands together. Rest our thumbs onto forehead. Soften the space underneath your thumbs. Add a bit of light into eyes, into third eye. We exhale together. We inhale to rise and lengthen. Lifting gaze, lifting hearts. And as we exhale, we drop our thumbs to heart. We bow, looking inwards. Honoring and thanking ourselves. And by doing so, we honor and thank one another. Remembering and embracing our connectedness, our true selves. Namaste. I thank you all deeply and wish you a beautiful rest of the day, rest of the week. Already can't wait to see you again. All my love, all the best.